Hello and welcome back to podKast with a K. I'm your host Carla with a K, and we are back after a brief hiatus with an amazing friend and returning guest. You're listening to WECS 90.1 FM or Twitch or Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. Without any further ado, though, without any further dilly-dallying, please join me in welcoming back to the virtual studio, Ewan!
Back. It was called from across the ocean.
Transatlantic.
Transatlantic. This international podcast.
The podcast is indeed international.
Crazy time zones.
I know.
We out here.
Fun fact, Ewan was actually the first international guest on the podcast.
And now the first potentially first reoccurring international guest.
I think you actually might be. I haven't had anyone come back. Yo, that's crazy.
I'm just,
Eat your heart out, Moy Cohen. Moy Cohen is the British Mexican singer that I interviewed, who I really, really loved. So, no shade. Kind of shade. Come back on the show. Let's do another talk. You have to go band for band with Ewan.
Yeah. I mean, I have nothing to do with music, but,
you are British.
I am. Terribly British.
As exemplified by that. As I was going to say, as exemplified by his word choice and the cup of tea.
Yep. Hey, I've got to show the side, right?
There you go. So we are testing out a new format for the podcast. If you're listening to this on the radio or on a normal podcast listening platform, not much has changed for you. You still get new episodes Mondays at 9 p.m. Although I guess I have been releasing these for like Spotify and stuff on Wednesdays, sometimes Sundays. I don't know. I've been playing around with that algorithm too. Besides the point, new episodes officially will be releasing a week after the fact, Monday at 9 p.m. However, we will be recording live whenever me or the guest feels like it, just because I think that's better for everyone's schedule. It's less stressful. And then we have time to edit and post if we need to. So with that being said, today, on the day that we are recording, is Turtle Day. So happy Turtle Day to everyone.
Oh, sick.
And thank you to Emmy for letting me know. Nice. As you all know, I have a pet turtle who I love more than life. So we celebrate Turtle Day in this house.
As we should. I mean, who doesn't love a turtle?
Right? And I'm glad that we're doing this so early because this means you also get to celebrate Turtle Day because it is before midnight for you, which is crazy. Not for much longer, but I think last time we recorded for you, it was like 2 a.m. or something.
Yep.
Which,
great.
What a trooper, but...
I'm just committed.
You are.
Yeah.
So, I mean, dude, tell us what you've been up to. You have a couple of crazy life updates. I think two of them include, in a similar vein, being Mr. Worldwide in a big sort of train of thought.
365, yeah.
305, but 365 days a year. 305, 365. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, both of those numbers are remotely circular, so I'm gonna blame it on the dyslexia. So
you know what?
But no, yeah. Sure. So I guess we should start with a big one. In like distance.
Yes.
I went to America.
Crossed the oceans. Traveled great distances. Ocean.
Yeah.
Man's has been on a journey.
And it was crazy. Got to the word in front of that one, but it's crazy. Where do you even start? The scale of it.
So, I mean, well, tell us why you came to America, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty. Just like a 2-sentence summary. What were you doing here? You've been to America before.
Concerts and meeting as many people as possible in one fell swoop. And not a long time, really. I was there for like 10 days.
Something like that.
I think.
Yeah.
It also feels like it was so long ago, but it was literally like 2 months at that.
I know, it feels like a lifetime, honestly.
Yeah. So, I mean, I flew into Washington, and then road tripped to Boston, then road trip to New York, and then road tripped back to Washington, and then got stuck in America.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. That was so fun.
Well,
Home,
now
glorious.
that we have the framework for your time in America, tell us what you experienced in these 10 days because your previous trips to America had been like brief little weekend
Like
trips, right? For
weekends.
weddings.
Yeah,
Yeah. So tell
because
us,
I'm
now that
crazy like that, you know.
to Wilded.
Let's fly 8 hours for literally like 72 hours to then fly back.
Listen, I'm always here for a flash YOLO trip, but I do want to hear
And
about
it
the 10
does.
days you spent in America.
So we'll start off in Washington. Texas Roadhouse.
Texas Roadhouse.
Texas Roadhouse. Now American food and me, we don't agree.
Why is that?
It makes me terribly ill. Because yeah. Europe. Anyway, so that
Okay.
bread though, that bread, there's something there.
Something
No,
about the Texas Roadhouse bread. Okay. I have a Texas Roadhouse story if you'll allow me to just interject real quick.
as
At
you should.
Texas Roadhouse, they give you cinnamon sugar butter for your very fancy bread. It was on a work trip. I don't know why this was the thought in mind, but the Airbnb we were staying at had a fire pit, and we had the genius idea of taking the bread and the butter with us, and we made s'mores sandwiches with the Texas Roadhouse bread, butter, marshmallow, chocolate. Best thing in my life. Anyway, sorry. Please carry
So
on.
I've got to come back to America now for that.
Yeah.
That alone.
Now that you know the hacks, but tell us about your experience with Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah.
The food, the quality,
So
the portions,
it was my
everything.
first restaurant experience as well in the US, which was interesting to say the least.
Oh,
Your servers are very personal.
yes. Yes, they
They
are.
like to talk to you, which is odd to me because normally they're just like, "I will take your order. Okay, goodbye. Don't talk to me again." Whereas they were like, "Oh my god, where are you from? Oh, that's cool. I recommend this and this and this and this is the special."
They want to be your best
That's like,
friend.
yeah, that's real weird to me because normally in like Britain and places, people only speak to you if they want something from you, and I was there like, "Oh, this is." But
What they
apparently
trying
that's
to get.
normal. You know? Yeah, I was like, "What's going on here?" It's like Shifty McGee.
Yeah, I mean, you have to remember here because of the tipping culture, people
Yeah.
have this expectation of being nicer to you and kinder to you. And, it's a thing where like servers are supposed to like low key flirt with you to like get money out of you. And I say this as a former server who refused to play the game. And so, whenever I first started serving, I was like, why am I not getting as many tips as the other girls? And I was like, oh, because I'm not playing the game. And so
Yeah.
instead, I didn't start playing the game. But I would walk up to tables and I was like, people want a personality. They can have me, the real live actual
Mm.
me, not the
Yeah.
service person me. And so I'd come up and I'd say whatever, I'd make whatever jokes, and that's when the tips started coming in. And so I was like, okay, I see it. And so that became my server persona, was just a more helpful version of who I am.
It's like I'll help just a little bit.
I honestly treated each table like a mini podcast episode.
Honestly, as you should. I reckon that's the way of doing it.
So
But
wait,
it's like,
what did people think when they heard you speak and when you told them it was your first restaurant?
what a great time. What a great time. The so my actually like the weirdest thing for me is like my driving license obviously isn't American.
Mm-hmm.
So people immediately forget how to read,
Ah, yes.
I think. Because I got a beer there, and your drinking laws are different to ours, but
Yes.
trying to having to like show someone on the ground, it's like no, it's the one that says date of birth. And I'm like, where is it? Where I got dumbfounding.
Don't worry, that's
It's the
not.
accent. It puts everyone off.
The accent throws everyone off from the start, but it's not even just a foreign license thing. People do that with licenses from other states, which is crazy because it's the same format, just different colors. My,
Cause yeah,
yeah, like whenever I came home from college, my license I got whenever I was in college, right? And so whenever I first came home, like to visit or whatever, people would be like, "Oh, I can't find your date of birth," and I'm like, "It's the year that happened in
like
the
yeah,
last century. What do you mean?"
yeah. That was like the other thing. I was like, okay, one of these dates is when I got my driving license, which is like 2020,
Hmm.
and the one is when it expires in 2030. Let's do some like marginal thinking. Do I look like an infant? No. So potentially, one of these dates will be the right one.
Right.
But I also struggled a lot with like table manners in the US.
Oh, how so?
Finger food to me is horrific and terrifying.
Do you not have finger food in the UK? I feel like,
Not
you
to
have.
that scale.
Are you talking about appetizers, like the shareable big plate in the center of the
Yeah,
table? Okay. One of my favorite games to play with
I was.
Ewan is what is he talking about? And vice
Yep.
versa.
Wait, that's my entire life. I'm gonna keep it a bit mysterious,
Well, our friendship was kind of
On the
rooted in
table.
this. Just like as a side note, I think Ewan was baking or something, and we were trying
What
to,
is a stick of bloody butter
yeah, we were trying to figure it out.
or a cup?
Yeah, because it was like, wait, like cold butter, melted butter, thawed butter, like these are different volumes of butter. And so that was kind of what snowballed into the podcast you're listening to
Yeah.
today. So that's just a cute little tangent into why. Wait, finger food, what are you talking about? I'm like over here like I'm the math meme. I'm Charlie Day connecting the red string on the board. I'm like, what is he talking about? What is he talking about?
Straight out the. No, stuff like that to me was like crazy and like. In Texas Roadhouse, that's the place with like the peanuts, right? It's been a long time since I've been there. I think there was like
Texas
nuts.
Roadhouse has.
I think it was something. Essentially, there was peanuts and people. I think just put the shells on the floor. It was
Is
either
that
they go in the
Texas
floor.
Roadhouse?
It's one of them, and I can't
I
remember.
know there is a restaurant, but it's like a burger restaurant here. Oh, Five Guys?
No, it's maybe no. I think Texas Roadhouse is the one where it's like you just dispose of like the shell of the peanut onto the floor.
That could be the case. I've only been a couple of times.
And to me, I was like, this is. I can't do this. My
Oh, it is
grandmother.
Texas Roadhouse, and they give you buckets now.
They give you buckets. Great. Terrific. 'Cause putting that on the floor, I was like, no, I can't do it. I won't do it. I
Yeah,
refuse.
everything in my upbringing prevents me from being an absolute
Yeah, I was like, my mother
Neanderthal.
will get on a plane and come slap me. I
Right.
can't do this. I may be across the ocean, but she'll know. She'll come find me.
Chad is saying it's a hazard for the floor now, which is why. That is so funny.
Nah, it's not. It's not the manners.
It's not. It's because it was a safety
just
issue. Somebody got sued.
yeah. Someone somewhere tripped up over a peanut shell.
Yeah. I mean,
But to be fair,
this is an interesting point about like just general table manners. You're right.
yeah, knives and forks. You guys just use them really oddly.
Okay.
I'd seen the memes right where cause you guys like put it up onto the back of the fork, or that's when you can be bothered to use a knife and a fork. For
What are
mad
you
shit.
talking about? Okay, I'm like
Have you not
envisioning.
seen this?
No, I'm envisioning a knife and a fork now. Okay, I have knife and I have
All
fork.
right.
Knife.
Yeah.
Fork.
Are you gonna put something on the fork to eat it?
Okay, I have something on my fork to eat it.
Okay, so you do it fairly normally, right? It's
Yeah.
apparently I swear to you, I'm not making this up. I feel like I am now, but I've seen this everywhere. I've seen this. It's like people put it like onto the back of the fork.
Oh, wait, I know what you're talking about, I think. Okay, so the fork has like the prongs and they stick up, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You're talking about
But
how
they
like instead of
invert
people
it.
eating, they eat it like with the prongs facing
Yeah,
down,
yeah,
like
yeah.
tongue side. Yeah, that's demented. I don't know why that is. That is cultural and it's weird.
All right, yeah. For a minute there, I was like, wait, am I making this
Well,
up in my
I thought
head?
you were
I was
saying
like,
you were
sure.
scooping it like with the back of the fork. And I'm like, are people like shoveling their
Oh
food?
no!
Like what?
But someone I was with,
No, I know
who
what
I
you're
won't
saying.
mention, someone who I was with. All right, so this was like a big part of this trip, and I was like fucking time. Pardon for my language. I'm so sorry.
Leap at 1652.
Yeah, yep. Just make a note of that.
I'm gonna go ahead and get my little sticky note for
Yeah.
this episode.
This may, yeah. British language does often use those words
Chat
quite
wants you to name drop.
frequently.
Chat wants the name drop.
I don't feel like I can name drop though. Abby, with a Y.
Ugh.
Eating pudding inverted.
That's so
Even now,
funny that would
I'm
be
furious.
your experience. I have an Abby with an IE story about eating in which
They
she
just-
eats ice cream and she'll take the spoon and she'll put it like face down instead of like, the spoon,
That
faces
is-
up the scoopy part,
Mm.
and then you eat off of the spoon, right?
You see, it's
If
like the
she's eating
fox
ice
all
cream, she
over
picks it up
again.
and she puts it upside down on her mouth. And I asked her the first time we met in person, I'm like,
Why you do that?
why?
Yeah. It's like the spoon was designed to scoop.
Maybe it's just the Abbeys.
Well, you see, but Abby with a Y. I mean, they were doing it purely to annoy me at this point.
Mhm.
It with like utensils, like a fistful of utensils upside down. So all of the useful bits pointing up and using like the actual.
Right, no, I understand.
Oh,
That
Yeah.
might be a culturally, although I don't know. I
No, that was
haven't
just to
paid
annoy
enough
me.
attention. No, that one, yes, specifically. I'm thinking about
Yeah,
like the
that.
normal eating thing because Richie in the chat says he does that with ice cream as well.
Richie, no.
Although I will say I be using chopsticks as skewers. I cannot be bothered to use a utensil the proper way if it's ineffective.
Whoa. What? Now that's a hardcore
Sue
take,
me.
Richie. Yeah. Damn. Well, no,
Anyway, sorry.
So
Okay,
that was
so
that was
what about the
Washington.
quality of the food? You haven't even said about the taste,
I
the flavor, the actual. What did you get? What did you get at Texas Roadhouse? Because
what
you
did
know
I get?
those memes that are
I
like
got
things that
a
would kill a
yeah.
Victorian child. That's how I feel like you
All of
would
that
react
food.
to Texas Roadhouse.
Anything, yeah. Anything I tried in America, other than the food that I'll talk about later at a certain cafe, we'll get to that, was like literally lethal. Because like the
Mm.
Texas Roadhouse stuff, one, the size, the Caesar salad that is an appetizer, right? That's
Ah,
just a main
yes.
meal. I
Well,
don't know who in
appetizers
there
are
like,
meant to be shared, is the thing. That's I only learned that in my 20s. I
but
thought
the
an
word
appetizer was
appetize
supposed to be
doesn't
like,
mean,
yeah, like just a little something dainty
bruh.
for you. No, it's because it's meant to be
Yeah.
shared,
Who's sharing a salad? Who's going there like, ah,
right?
yes, I'll eat half of this
The
and you can have the
communal
other half.
salad, bro.
The communal salad. I mean, to be fair, I know some people in the Netherlands that have a communal cucumber eating. It's as bad as you think it is.
We'll get to the Netherlands on the second half of the
Yeah, we'll
show.
get there. Yeah, that's a story for then. I've got so many stories.
So
Screw
many
it.
stories.
Yeah, but I had a Caesar salad, and then I had some steak. But it kind of like all of the food I had in America was okay, but like I could tell it was American.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a weird way of describing it because it didn't taste like everything kind of tasted the same. Of like it was just one meal that was like seasoned a bit differently.
It's because they cook everything in the same grease.
That'll do it. See, I don't know. I don't have the back. I don't have like the in-depth knowledge of
In a
this.
restaurant, almost everything is cooked in the same grease, oil, whatever. Like
But
unless
like
it's like a
allergies,
food
bro.
contaminant. Well, so unless you request it specifically because of allergies,
No.
it's like that. So for example, here's a fun little tidbit for you guys. If you ever go to a Mexican restaurant and you get fried ice cream, that was 100% fried in the same place as the tortilla shells were. It's in the same place as the fries for the kids' meal was. It is the same vat
Yeah.
of oil, which is why your ice cream tastes smoky. It's not some special Mexican
Nice.
secret. It's just the same oil.
I mean, one I'm now discovering the fried ice cream's a thing.
Oh, indeed it is.
I know that was a thing.
You
You
take
guys will
ice
actually
cream,
just
you
fry
roll it
everything,
into a ball. You take cornflakes,
right?
you crush them. You then roll the ice cream ball in the cornflakes, and then you fry that.
Just why?
As someone who is Mexican, I don't know. That's an American thing.
Nice. Dude, we'll throw some shade at that, but don't worry about it.
Okay, moving on from Texas Roadhouse then.
Yeah. So I had a look around Washington. The Washington Monument. You don't really get a feel for how big that is
Oh yeah.
until you're there.
Oh,
That
yeah.
thing. Yeah. You guys just went big stick in the ground.
Big stick in
Yeah.
the ground. And then if you turn
Big stick
around,
in
you
the
have
ground.
big man in a chair.
Big dude in a chair.
Lincoln
Yeah, went
Memorial
there as
is
well.
Crazy.
Everything in that area was crazy. To be fair, I actually really, really liked Washington. I don't know
Washington's
why.
great.
It just like all the stuff I wanted to see was immediately close by, and I was like, sick. I've played games here. This is real weird to see in
Yeah.
person. That's the other thing, is if you've ever played, for like anyone who's watching who's played games, Modern Warfare 2, there's a bit where it's based in, in Washington. Every time I saw a Burger King, I was like, this is just Burger Town.
Yeah.
If you played it, you'll know it. You'll know the exact thing I mean. Every time I saw a Burger King, I was like, damn, it's like I'm there.
Yeah.
It's so real.
You literally
I love
step
it.
into every video game and movie that's set in the US.
Yeah.
Because all of the US, of course, happens in New York and DC. Sometimes LA.
Yep. And now sometimes Wyoming.
Ah yes, we're in our northern cowboy era for some reason.
Yeah, usually you should. Even I am.
Yeah, but you
And
also
I'm
romanticize the cowboy era.
yeah,
No
got
notes,
to.
just an observation.
Well, it's just secretly I just want to go roam the open plains of Wyoming. Could I find Wyoming on a map? Maybe.
I could not.
Potentially
North,
one to the right of
northeast.
Oregon. I got there. Up and to the left.
We are thinking of
Over
different
this
parts
way.
of the map for Wyoming, which is indeed a mark on the American education system. Fun fact, I never
Mm.
had to take a geography class.
Mm.
That's not a flex. That is a great point of shame.
Oh yeah, right. I didn't have to take a geography exam. Oh,
You know.
yeah, I was pretty good. I got to see like things that I thought like I've seen this in movies and all that.
What
But
was the
then,
most impressive part?
honestly, of Washington or like the entire thing,
Okay.
because
Respect.
there was like a lot there.
Yeah.
Cause like out of the whole trip, like the Empire State Building. But I can talk about that when we get on to New York if you want. 'Cause,
Sure.
like
Sure.
Boston, right? Certain events happened to my like entire country in Boston, and as soon as I saw that harbor,
Oh, he started quaking.
I literally like I felt my soul just like crumple. Like we were walking to an aquarium, and my soul just went like, and like I was literally for a minute, like I went like weak at the knees and was there like, oh no,
He could feel the souls of the
yeah,
ghost of tea
the
packets
tea
past.
leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, think it's a pass. Oh, I was just like, damn, such a waste. If I was there, I'd have jumped in there and started drinking that water. I ain't gonna
Just to see
lie.
if it's still tea flavored.
Yep,
Respect.
damn,
Respect.
for real, for real.
I'm sorry Boston was a
That's
triggering moment for you.
yeah, I know. I was, damn. But that's also where I had my first concert experience.
Was this
That
your
was
first concert
wild,
ever?
ever. So you know, our mutual friend goes on his last tour, and I was like, well, you know what? That's the one. I was like, have I listened to any of this music? No.
Well, you had listened to the demos of the music 10 years ago.
Yeah, but now here he is. And I didn't understand the scale of concerts.
Oh, yeah.
They big.
Concerts are big,
And
and granted, you got to see kind of a small venue tour because the shows were supposed to be like intimate for like the fans. Every
yeah,
single one of those spots was packed like crazy. I wish you'd gotten
yeah,
to see them like
absolutely
in
mad.
stadium type,
Yeah,
maybe not stadium,
it was
arena type shows.
crazy. But this
But
is also where I experienced my like real dosage of real Americans first, like people I'd never met before, hands on. Crazy, crazy times. American people, they hear an accent, and I ain't gonna lie, some of them go a bit feral.
yeah,
Just a little bit.
it's funny, right?
Yeah. Especially I got so many questions, and like this like one this one girl was there like so I managed to convince some people that I may or may not be a member of the royal family
Please,
because
please do tell.
I was tipsy and I was at the bar and I'd just spoken to some other British people, and that was crazy finding other British people in an America like in a concert that's like to me I didn't even know anyone in Britain knew like who Arizona was, right?
Right.
And then this girl came up behind me, she's like, "Oh my god, bro, are you British? Are you from England?" And I was like, immediately changed my accent because I normally speak terrible. I'm like, "Oh, as you know, I know all that buggery stuff." But then I switched to the King's English.
Ah,
I was like,
yes.
"Oh yes, of course I am. I'm terribly British." And we started talking about something. She's like, "Oh,
Posh
where are you
Ewan
from?" And
freaks
I'm
me
like,
out.
it's terrible. And she was like, "Oh, so like where are you from in England?" I was like, "You see, my uncle, you may know him, King Charles, lets me stay on the estate. Yes, yes, and I go up there to shoot grouse with Uncle Andrew. Yes, it's a terrific time. I'm just here, I'm here to see the sights and yes." And the fact she believed me, may or may not speak for a word.
Well, so here's the thing: is why would you lie?
Why would I lie? The great question.
Here's the thing. I learned about this on Tumblr. Everyone, for whatever reason, on your half of the globe, loves to lie to Americans. Whether
Yes.
it's expressions, whether it's relations, whether it's cultural norms, because Americans are gullible. Which is not an interpretation of the other half of the world to Americans. That is true. Americans are gullible. And because not everyone deep dives into other cultures, not everyone just takes interest or knows that they should take interest or that there's even anything
Yeah.
to take interest in. Most people will believe whatever you say.
Yeah. Because then at the same time, she then started asking me about like recommendations for places to go visit, and anywhere that was not London, no idea.
No.
So this is my travel advisory. Anyone coming to the United Kingdom, go up. Don't stay down. Go up. There's more to do in the north.
Is there?
Maybe.
Is there
There's
more to do?
castles. There's
There's
castles. There's
castles.
Greggs.
True. The infamous
There's
Greggs.
museums.
There's sheep.
There's sheep. There's national parks out the wazoo.
You can go see
I
a
mean-
sign that says, you know, how to measure the distance in sheep rather
Yeah,
than
in
car
sheep.
length.
Yeah. That's, you know. I love how
Honestly,
I
I'm here
always
for the
talk
sheep
about America.
sightseeing. I'm kind of sold on
Oh,
going to the north of
As
England.
you should. I mean, I recommend it to everyone. Like literature, you know, we wrote books.
We wrote
few.
books.
Yeah, we wrote books.
We're
Anyone knows the Bronte
literate.
sisters? They out here. Oh. And you can get from coast to coast in like 2 hours at the worst.
That is true. I was going to ask what your experience was road tripping, considering I think you drove the length of your country just to get from state to state.
So, I found this really strange in America. One, I mean, I imagine it's just like the unluckiness of it. But people just would not like indicate or drive like American speed limits as well. That stuff was crazy to me.
And no one
They're not
listens to them.
fast
They
at
go
all.
faster.
Yeah, but I was well surprised because like we were on this highway. I think it's I-95, maybe one of them, and the speed limit was like 55, 65, and I was there like, no wonder it takes you 10 hours to get anywhere. You can't even do 70.
And the thing is, the speed limit might say 55. People are going 75, and you wouldn't still thought that was slow.
Yeah,
Granted,
I mean-
75. Some highways in North Carolina are 75. And some places, I guess, up north. I don't know. It depends on the state and the area. But, you know, if it's 75, it's 95. Regardless of me saying this and converting it to kilometers, Ewan's like, yeah, but that's so slow, though. And I'm like, how fast do you be going on those twisty, windy, sheep-ridden roads?
Well, that's just like, take that in your own will. Speed. 60 plus, at least.
Kilometers.
Miles an hour.
Miles.
The UK uses miles because we're a cretin and use
Oh,
a mixture.
Interesting.
I buy my fuel in liters and I drive in miles. And my car measures the fuel consumption in miles per gallon. So I don't know.
Today I learned.
Yeah, it's great because we measure distance in miles, all that in miles per gallon. But then I'll buy my fuel in liters.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, so I know it's like it's £1.33 for a liter of fuel, but 4 of those make a gallon.
Yeah.
Why not?
Okay, so you
We got
road
the
trip
shit.
DC, Boston, then New
Yeah.
York?
New York,
New York.
the Big
baby.
Apple. Did I feel like every movie in the world became real? Yes, I did.
Hell yeah,
Did-
dude.
I have a terrific time. Honestly, I think New York may or may not have been like one of the better parts of that trip because there was so much stuff in such like a small area,
Yeah.
and it was St. Paddy's.
And it was.
Yeah, and to me, I don't sound Irish,
No.
but we went to my new secondary favorite city in the world, Hoboken, New Jersey.
Said by nobody ever.
Every time I've told anyone, I was like, bro, I loved Hoboken. Hoboken was sick. Everyone's there like, what?
Are you okay?
No. What happened? And I was like, well, right. Let's start off. It's St. Paddy's. We go to one bar. I get a pint of Guinness. It was the worst pint of Guinness in my life. I'm not gonna lie. The joke in the UK we'd make is can I get this with a flake? Because the head is like was literally like half of the glass. And I was
Yeah.
like, Yeah, okay, sick, my guy. But during that, some guy got his guitar out and started singing, and was like Irish songs. I was like, haha, I'm cultured. I know Irish songs. First time I've screamed across a bar the name of a song. Did I start shaking and like bricking it? Yeah, because I've never yelled in my life apparently. I was fearful. I was like, oh my god,
Ewan raised his
this is
voice above
terrible.
like 10 decibels and was losing his
Yeah,
mind.
I panicked. I was like, oh my god, we're all gonna like think I'm rowdy.
Oh
Good
no!
heavens.
Rowdy at a pub on
Yeah,
St. Patrick's
terrible.
Day?
Terrible. But like, so we moved on from that first bar to I don't know the name of it, but I could pinpoint it on a map. Best bar experience I've ever had in my life. Because I go up to the bar and the guy immediately thinks I'm Irish.
Well, to be fair, your
Because
accent is just a little bit sharp, you know, like
yeah, it's not like
it
Southern English.
no,
It's not posh.
it
I
could
don't
be
speak
Irish
like this.
adjacent.
Yeah, so he was like, "Oh my god, what's it like at home?" I was like, "What? Not bad. Cheers." And he said that like if I was Irish, I could have a free double shot of Jameson with my Guinness, and I was like, "Yeah, my dad's from Belfast, and my mum's from Cork."
Oh, Cork, I
Yeah,
know sold it.
yeah, because I was like, my guy'll know those places maybe. And
Cork
I
has
was like,
made it
oh
into
yeah,
our media, is why I'm like, that's a good one to say.
yeah. And then I just started bringing places up. I was like, oh yeah, yeah, you know, Donegal, the Galloway, you know, all
Galway
those
girl
places.
shouts out Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, Ed Sheeran, they'll have heard that song
Ed
for real.
Sheeran is actually my brother.
Yeah, he's out. Yeah, you know. To be fair, he was born in a village 10 miles that way, so you know it's not far off.
Could be.
So you know,
Long
I just am
lost.
Ed Sheeran secretly. That's my Yeah, I'm actually ginger.
You just dye your hair so people don't recognize you.
Yeah, yeah. It's how I live my normal life.
Mm-hmm.
But no, that was crazy. And then we went to a pizza place, and I had a despicable pizza.
What made this pizza so despicable?
It was taco pizza. Now describe to me what you would think taco pizza is. One, I'd never had a taco before this point.
Okay. You're, first of all, in Hoboken, New Jersey, eating taco pizza.
Yeah.
I would imagine taco pizza would have some sort of weird combination of black beans, ground beef, shredded orange cheddar cheese, sour cream, maybe a diced tomato,
So
and too much cumin. I don't know why they'd be putting
you're not
cumin in
you're not
taco pizza.
half wrong. So imagine a pizza that's guacamole,
Oh, guac.
cheese, and then free tacos at the crust.
What?
Okay, I
Were
was like
these hard shell tacos?
soft.
Were they made with ground beef or grilled meat?
A mix across the three of them.
We have some Jersey locals in the chat right now, and I want explanations.
And I'm not gonna lie to you. I got back to the
Taco.
hotel that night, and my body did not like that. It was like we are dying.
Yeah.
This is the end.
I'm not surprised. That
It went into like remission. It was like no.
Again, I feel the need to point out I'm Mexican and I have no idea what to even envision for this description of events.
Traumas.
Trauma?
Terrible. Yeah, that and I was like absolutely what's a polite word for it?
Okay,
Inebriated
Abby in chat is
beyond
saying it was
recognition.
pork, beef, and chicken. Which, if you were inebriated beyond recognition, it would make sense. But that does sound like the perfect drunk food.
Yeah. I mean, drunk, you wouldn't agreed. Sober, you wouldn't did not.
Was this whenever you tried your first murder
No.
beverages? Okay, we'll get to that later, I assume.
Yeah. We can talk about that next if you want. Oh, actually, no. The Empire. It's been in New York, Empire State Building. If you ever go. It lives up to the hype, I think. Especially the bit that's dedicated to the elevators.
Elevators.
Especially
I
the
didn't
bit
mention
that's
elevators.
dedicated to the elevators.
Richie in chat mentioned if you need any elevators, Ewan's your guy. And I purposefully didn't mention it because I was playing a
For
game
real.
in my head. How long before we talk about elevators? The answer is
But, yeah.
38 minutes. We made it 38 minutes without
38
elevator
minutes
mention.
before I talk about like my one passion in life, elevators. I feel like I need to give context for people that don't
Yes,
know this,
please
just
do.
in case. I'm an elevator design engineer for one of the big three companies in the world. That's why I'm obsessed, because I need to be.
It's so niche and like not at all the type of thing anyone ever talks about. This man will
But I
see a
do.
Snapchat story and swipe up and be like, "Oh, you're in X type of elevator with Y type of buttons," and I'm like,
I mean,
"Was
just
there
ask
an elevator
Richie.
in my story?"
Yeah. Just ask Richie. I literally, like, he put something on his story, and I was like, I know that flooring. I've seen that flooring before.
It's like,
Yeah.
dude, you could probably help solve some cold cases just from your knowledge of elevators and the backgrounds of
Right,
photos.
I see a button, I see a floor, I'm like, I've pinpointed this. This is
Oh
like an
yes,
ode
the
history.
Richie in chat says the elevators in his apartment are banned in the UK, which checks out because the elevators in my sister's apartment building are apparently also not just banned in the UK. They've been like forbidden to use those components since like the early 1900s or
Yeah,
something.
there's like, we're gonna deep dive elevator law real quick here. So there's like the European norm is that are becoming international standards, and America's like one of the one countries that were like, we're just not gonna adopt this. We like our not unsafe, but less safe, you know?
They're they're unsafe. It's okay, you can say it.
Some of them I thought I was going to die in, but I
They
didn't want
get
to say it at the
stuck.
time.
Elevators get stuck so often here. And it's because they're made with like old weird components that shouldn't be used anymore, or they move in weird funky ways. So if you're carrying too heavy of a bag and you put it down, it throws the elevator out of balance. And then you just have
Yeah.
to buzz the
That's
fire
like,
department to come save you.
if I can tell anyone anything, if you get stuck in a lift in the US, you guys don't have electromagnetic locks for locking the elevator doors. Please don't force them open, because you will fall, and that's how you die. Don't do that.
Ah yes.
Because I see it on Lyft Instagram all the time. That's a niche Instagram. That's out
Lyft
there.
Instagram. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
Lyft Doc, my guy.
You are on such a unique part of the internet.
I am. I just, it's the best as well. It's just literally rectangles in other rectangles going up and down. We love to see it. But the Empire State Building, entire bit of that museum dedicated to the lifts, and I was freaking out. I was like, oh my god, I'm at the mecca of elevators. I took pictures and I was showing people in the meetings I was having at work.
Oh my
I was like,
goodness.
guys, you gotta look at this. You gotta see this.
Well, what did they think?
I mean, so, one, it's not our company's elevators, so we're immediately already there, like, oh, we could do better.
Right, naturally.
But for what they were, I was really impressed by the ones in the Empire State Building, because I didn't feel like I was gonna die in them. But there was a few where I was like, no. There was a few that I actually didn't want to get into, but I also didn't want to worry people I was with.
Right.
Sorry, Abby. I'm not gonna lie.
Listen, anyone who doesn't want to listen to elevator lore does not deserve you.
I know. Thank you, Golly. No.
I'm just here to say the facts, dude.
I'm gonna put that in all of my dating app bios from now on. So if you don't want to listen to elevator lore, don't even bother. Get out of here.
Actually, your entire profile is just you standing in different elevators.
I mean, most of the pictures of me in my phone probably are, like when people take like mirror pictures in elevators.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my entire
you take the most terrifying selfies standing on top.
Oh
of
yeah,
the
I'll be like on
actual
top of a
lifts.
lift, and
Yeah.
because that's you gotta measure stuff. You gotta get on top of it.
You'll look at a selfie and you're like, oh, it's Ewan. Oh, what's he standing on? Oh, that's a lift. Oh my god, that's the void of like 20 feet or 20 stories below him.
Yeah,
Scary stuff.
and that's where I feel most at home. Bro, I love being on top of like tall stuff. Unless it's the Empire State Building and it's real windy. There's a picture out of there where my hair literally like jets back because it's that windy on top of there. That place is actually crazy. So I recommend that.
Definitely. I was gonna ask, like, what were your highlights of the trip? Like, what are your like can't miss type of spots if someone ever wants to take the same type of trip you did?
So, the Boston Aquarium, really recommend that. There's a lot of penguins.
Hell
I
yeah.
rate a penguin. Penguins are sick.
Penguins are sick.
New Jersey, yeah, damn right. New Jersey, you gotta go Hoboken. Go have some drinks, you know.
What is there specifically the place that you went, or anywhere in Hoboken will do?
Anywhere in Hoboken, I felt great.
Hoboken, just
Br-
blanket statement. Hoboken, New
The amount of
Jersey.
confidence I had in the US is like unreal. I've been chasing that feeling ever since.
Yeah,
I ain't felt that confident anywhere.
right.
But there was like that one, the Empire State Building, and I don't know the name of it, and it hurts me that I don't remember it. But there was a tea shop, like a tea, like
Oh no.
we went for afternoon tea in America.
Which is crazy.
And to be fair, frankly, I was impressed. I was like, I mean, it's close. It's not the same thing, but it's terribly close. And again, Abby with a Y, if you're listening to this, I still to this day have nightmares about how you eat cheesecake.
Wait, do I even want to know?
No. Trauma. Out of a teacup. Out of a teacup.
Cheesecake out of a
Wow.
teacup?
Yeah.
I'm
Because
so
for some
confused by
reason,
this
it wasn't on a
sentence.
plate and it wasn't in a bowl. They put it in like a glass teacup.
Oh, okay. I have to ask. Did you at any point encounter any of our dessert monstrosities, such as a milkshake with a slice of cheesecake on top of it?
No, you see, so the portion sizes were too big that by the time I would have got to that, I'd already like
Oh, you're
tapped
not
out.
even used to having to eat that much. Well, to be
Yeah, I
fair,
couldn't.
were you finishing your meals or were you taking takeout for later?
There was, I tried my damnedest to like eat all of those meals, but there were times I was like, I physically cannot.
Tap out.
Yeah. So that was one, and then the next place I went on a pilgrimage, my own pilgrimage, because I love country music,
Right.
and in Times Square there is a Margaritaville. So Jimmy Buffett,
Jimmy Buffett.
my guy. I had to go to
Pouring out for your
Margaritaville.
boy Jimmy, dude.
I had to, I was like, I'm here. I need to. And
I
that
know
place,
I told you to pick
that
a song.
place
We're gonna
was
sign off with
crazy.
Margaritaville.
We have to now.
We will.
Now I've said it.
Sorry,
It's
do
like
tell.
Chekhov's gun.
Yeah.
Margaritaville.
Margaritaville.
Oh, but it was that place. That place was a fever dream. There was like a Statue of Liberty with a margarita glass, but the margarita glass was a screen. Yeah, crazy. I nearly said the London Underground, but that's completely the wrong city. But the New York subway.
The subway, yes. Are you?
That's an adventure in its own.
Wait, is this just a tangent, or are you telling people that they have to experience the New York subway?
You got to. I mean, it's a tangent, but you got to try that. You'll immediately think that wherever you've come from had far better public transport, but
Listen, you'll never encounter a faster yet inefficient way of travel than the New York
it was
subway.
crazy, yeah. But no, you've got to go experience that one because again, every single movie on Earth becomes real. So that's definitely one. Times Square, we didn't really go look at Times Square, but we could see it, and it was that again.
In the whole time you were there, you never went to look at Times Square?
And not like look at that independently, but we went through it a few times.
Okay.
But yeah,
That's, yeah. I
It was
gotta
okay.
say, my hot take is that I like New York. All right, I actually really, really enjoy New York City, which it's not a hot take globally. It's a hot take when all of your friends are from New England, because everyone hates the city. Times Square is annoying only because it's not even the crowds. It's not even anything. The people that work in Times Square need so much training because why are you being rude to me? It doesn't matter if I'm your millionth tourist or your first customer of the day. You're serving. You are a performer. You're like a Hooters waitress. You're not a server. You're a performer. Perform. Treat me nicely. You don't know if I have money or if I don't. You don't know if I'm buying in bulk to take back to my home country or if I'm just going back to another state 3 hours away. It does not matter to you. Be nice to me. I know we're in New York. I don't care. You're a performer in a performing space. You're in a tourist trap. You are in a destination. You're not at a place. You're not at a store. You're at a destination. Act like it.
Yeah.
That's my rating.
Nah, 100%. No, okay. I agree.
I
But
will
that was
say Times Square at midnight
crazy.
is crazy because all of the billboards, instead of showing ads, show like a digital art installation, which is really cool. It's
That's
the
cool.
Midnight Minute or something, and it lasts for 3.
Mm.
It's so cool.
See, speaking of midnight and being in New York, and what happens at midnight other than drinking? Four Locos.
I knew it would end up
Four
here. Four
Locos.
Locos.
Crazy, crazy. The best beverages known to the planet.
Ewan is
It's
demented. The podcast not only does not condone Four Locos, it condemns Four Locos to the point where there is a ban on any Four Loko stories involving yours truly.
yeah. Can I have one? Can I have one
You
like
no. You can tell all of the stories you
oh
want.
sick.
I'm just
Let's
there's an
go.
embargo on any four on this side of the screen. No Four Loko stories, so Ewan take the floor.
I was about to be like, yeah, I got a sick one though.
No.
So
You're go ahead.
we're on the way to the concert. The first concert where I met you for like the first time.
Mm-hmm.
That was crazy. And I wanted to get a bit buzzed before the concert, especially because
So
like
you had a Four
I'm not.
Loko? Sorry.
So I had a Four Loko, and then I was reminded of the United States and particularly New York's open container laws that do not exist in England or any of the other European countries that I've been to. So I had to chug a Four Loko on the way to that concert, and my body has never made such noises in my life. I've never belched so hard.
I think that sentence was doomed from I had to chug a Four Loko.
And now all I want to do, though, I also experienced red vines for the first time, and some people will know where this is going.
Oh man.
You
Tell us
can make
that
a red
again.
vine into a straw, and the best US conception you can do is using a red vine to drink a Four Loko, and no one can tell me I'm wrong.
You're so wrong.
And so you, Carly. You know, I'm the guest here. The guest's always right. Oh my god.
You came to the wrong show for that. You complain about American food all tasting the same, like butter, grease, and sugar, and you're telling me your
Yeah, but you
solution
cracked
to
out
this.
energy drink
Your
alcohol's
solution
great.
to I was gonna say your solution to this is liquefied cocaine through a candy straw.
Yeah. And it was the best experience of my life. It was great.
Wait, was it just the one Four Loko the whole night?
I'm not crazy.
Okay,
I'm
I was
not
gonna
crazy,
say,
bro.
well, because you said you chugged a Four Loko, and a Four Loko is typically the type of drink where you're like, easy peasy, and then by the end of the can, you're like, have I ever truly known
Oh, I
happiness?
felt it. Like, yeah. Like, immediately I was like, oh dear,
Yeah.
this this is going to be wild. And then we got to like the concert venue, and I was like, well, now I need another drink, or a
Of
few
course.
more.
Of course.
Especially like I've never seen that many people crammed into one space before.
Oh yeah.
Because I come up from a village of like the live music we have is one man and a guitar,
I think
some
everyone in that
dogs.
venue is who lives in your village.
Yeah, probably more. Unless we're counting animals. If we
Well,
count animals, it might be even.
It was hella packed. That first show that I met you at was
Yeah.
insane. Like my sister, I brought her out to that show, and she was saying that usually they cut the crowd off at the soundboard. It
Yeah.
was to the doors. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. But honestly, I don't think I'd have traded any of it for the world. That was like, this is one trip where I'm like, the nostalgia level that's already there,
Yeah.
off the charts.
And it was kind of full circle for you because you've known Zach for
I
a million years
yeah,
as well. So you got to meet like old and new, like all in one go.
yeah, and I got to see like a lot of the Banff guys.
Yeah, 'cause everyone
That
came out to the last hurrah.
Yeah, because it was crazy to me because like the first Banff guy I met is Quick.
Context for our
I-
listeners: Banff is the name of their friend group.
Yeah, the first guy I met from Banff was at his wedding.
Right. That
That
was
was
the
my-
previous
that was
time
my,
you've
like,
been to the US.
Yeah. And I mean, to be fair, I thought I got drunk there, but I didn't. But that trip as well, like the nostalgia I have for America already, and it's only been like 4 years since I really started going, is crazy.
Yeah.
Because it's just such a different place. You can't find that anywhere else in the world. And I'm not gonna lie, maybe having an accent makes it like a better time.
Yeah.
But you know,
You
it's
definitely
worth
live a
it.
rose-colored glasses version of it, but I don't disagree. You've gotten to hit like all of the highlights in such a good, positive, wholesome way.
Yeah. Because I mean, like getting to meet like Aaron, because like I hung out with him. Space, like all those guys, and that was great. 'Cause, like literally, I've known them since I was like 14, and now I'm 23.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
It was literally 10 years of your life wrapped into one.
Yeah, I was like, damn, you guys are like real people.
Yeah.
I was like, what? What do you mean?
It's so
I was half
funny.
expecting like a monitor to just turn up and it to be a computer. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude, I mean, it's weird seeing people in real life. And I was explaining this because, like, I told you, like, it sucks that, like, there were so many people there, which was great, but it also meant that, like, there wasn't really time for everyone to, like, hang one-on-one. And I
Yeah.
was saying about how weird it was because, like, we've done the podcast before. We've also been friends for a while. And we usually talk, like, if not every day, like, every few days, like, we'll check in about
Yeah.
whatever nonsense, whether it's, freedom units or a life thing or art or whatever it is. And so I was
Yeah.
saying, like, it's so weird seeing someone from the internet, like, from afar, but still not hanging out with them, and then actually hanging out with them and being like, oh my god, I forget you're, like, a real person. Like, you'll
Real
see the
person,
mannerisms, you'll see the things. And one of my friends was like, I didn't even realize y'all were friends like that. And I'm like, that's the thing about the internet, though. Like, we're all kind of friends like that. And then you are face to face and you're like, man, I'm gonna miss you. Like, I'm gonna talk to you, like, in a few hours online anyway, but, like, I'm gonna miss this. Like, it's different. It's weird. It's cool.
And honestly, like, it's one of those strange things where I get such a nostalgia for it though. And occasionally, because I've got an iPhone, it'll like flash up. It's like your recent trip, and I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my god.
Crazy.
But no, I think, as much as like I have a strange opinion of the US, I think I'll always go back.
Yeah. Well, that's
If
the
not
thing. You
anything,
got to
it's to go on
separate
an
the
airplane,
political U.S. from the people in the tourism
Yeah.
and sightseeing. The way I see it, right? Like, politics might suck right now, but it's our country. Like, they can't have it. Like, we will take it back.
Yeah. 100%. That's the best way to look at it.
Yeah. And
Wow.
now you've gotten to, like, break in, like, a full region of the U.S., so you got to start working your way down
Yeah.
the coast and then out west.
Yeah, now I can like start pulling down and around.
Hell yeah, dude.
There's nothing in the middle.
No, the middle's just desolate wasteland. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. With tornadoes and
The
everything.
hell is Ohio? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right, I could maybe find that on a map if I tried hard. It's
Like
out
I
there.
said, my geography lessons were non-existent. The only
You know,
places
my
that I
hot
know where
take
they
for
are
this
is
is-
because I've been there.
Either that or they have a weird shape. Yeah.
100%.
100%. Speaking of weird shape thing, do we have enough time to keep talking about America?
We have
I'll
5
talk about my
minutes left.
departure.
Yeah.
Alright, my departure
it
from
up.
the US. That was crazy because an airport decided to catch on fire.
Indeed.
I get onto my plane in Washington Dulles to fly home to London Heathrow. I get on the plane. I'm the first guy on the plane because I was bougie. I got business class home, as you do.
He's kind of
Because
crazy.
it's an 8-hour flight and I was ill and I was like, well, damn, I'm going to be a bougie insert word I can't say here. And literally first, like, couple of people get on the plane. They're like, stop boarding, stop boarding. The pilot guy comes on the intercom and he's like, yeah, there's a fire at London Heathrow, so there's no power. It's like, great, sick. There's going to be like a major delay. And he's like, the airport's now closed until midnight tomorrow, but because of time zones, that's tomorrow again. That's not today. That's like tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no. But he was like, we're going to hang on because if they open the airport in the morning, because we might be able to like visually land, we'll hang on. So I got on the plane at 10 o'clock at night, get off the plane at 3 a.m. So I don't get to London Heathrow. So I have to rebook all my flights through Florida.
Florida, of all
So I had to get a
places.
connection to Orlando. And I'm sick at this point. I'm like really deathly ill, taking like Benadryl and sleeping tablets to survive.
Oh no.
And I still have a feud with a specific airline.
Put him on blast.
British Airways,
Ooh.
never flying with them again,
Ooh.
ever. Cut up my British Airways credit card. I was like, nah,
It's
never again.
over.
Yeah, I was like, damn, this is like taking them out of your context, like blocking. I was like, get out of here.
It's done.
This ain't for me.
It's for real this time.
Yeah, I said this before, but now it's for real, for real.
Man, crazy stuff. So, moral of the story, come to America, try a Four Loko at your own risk.
Yep.
Question mark.
Empire State Building.
Empire State Building.
Go see some elevators.
See some elevators. Try out the subway.
For real.
And, never fly British Airways.
Yep.
Ewan, as our time here draws to a close, I want to thank you so much for doing the episode with us and coming back on the show. As always, you're welcome anytime. You've been listening to WBCS 90.1. This is Podcast with a K. I'm your host, Carla with a K. Signing off. As we said, we'll be signing off with Margaritaville by Jimmy Buffett, because why not?
As we should.
As we should. And we'll be back next week with new nonsense and new guests. Same time, same channel, etc. Actually, I don't know about that. I told y'all we're playing with a new format. But
Ooh.
we'll see you when we see you. Have a fantastic week.